And so we arrived here because the country wanted us to be here and wanted us to be here in the name of power and individualism.
The people that are making the decisions do not know what it's like to not have access. Person that I'm feeding in my community, their reality is I don't have access to healthy food. The money that you're wanting me to spend on healthy food, I have to pay rent, or I have to pay an Uber to get to some healthy food, because within a one mile walking radius of my home, there is no access. And then the people at their top, they have all the access in the world.
That's why I call it food apartheid. You know, I think it's deliberately done. We got a gas station here, and you got a gas station, 2 blocks down. Another dude like, why we got all these gas stations for? Why we got all these liquor stores? Like, that wouldn't be allowed out in the suburbs. Like,
I would never understand why some policymakers, some business leaders, some community leaders even think that that is the way to go, to just put together a box of food and hope that people like something from it and appreciate it.
We have to have that sense of urgency around these communities that are struggling, whether it be through a food apartheid or environmental racism. We have to start showing up for these communities if we want long-term systemic change to happen.
It takes a catastrophe for people to wake up. Instead of doing the things that we know are right and just doing them because they're right, it takes an actual catastrophe or the bottom to fall out or our whole lives to blow up to really recognize, oh, we need to make these changes.
Who I hold to the fire are the elected officials who, in moments of crisis, often war, and now global pandemic, have demonstrated that if we want to, we can feed every child. If we want to. But if we don't want to feed them, we can also do that.
what's up?
Hi.
What's up? What's
When
going
did
on?
we meet you? Like a couple of years ago? 3 years? I don't know.
Yeah, it had to be at least 2 years ago,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
The first time we talked, we were across the street from your house, from the porch.
Yeah, we stayed after and we was talking about stuff. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That day. Yeah.
Tell me about that. Let's start with that porch and you growing food in buckets.
It's of that nature. Less than 1% of the food grown in Missouri is used for for human consumption. So that's crazy. We got all this good land here, and 84% of it's used for animal feed and food processing. We got our food insecurity rate is at 14%, which is higher than the national average. So, and I see these things firsthand. I didn't really realize it at the time because it's kind of normal. I guess it is normal. You don't really realize things like that unless you have a need for something. So when I say that is, like I said, I had my little health kick. Sometimes we go to our health thing where I wanted to change my where I was living. So I had sleep apnea. I don't even talk about that much. I used to have sleep apnea, asthma as well. And
You had the machine, didn't you?
yeah, I had to sleep with the machine. I used to stop breathing for like a minute. I had to get tested for it. And I just changed my eating habits. Now, I'm not a doctor. I couldn't tell you what specific things I did. But I know I just switched up everything and stopped eating pork. I started doing like little things like eating raw vegetables, doing cucumber water. These are all different things I can think of. I was just trying to switch it up. And then stuff started changing. Started losing weight. Stopped using my breathing machine. Stopped using my asthma pump. I guess I grew out of asthma. That's how they say it. But I just changed all those things. And then I was just like, okay, so if I'm changing this and it's working, maybe I need to keep doing this. So when I went to go look for some fresh food, I saw a lot of gas stations, a lot of Family Dollars, a lot of Dollar Generals, a lot of frozen food, things of that nature.
This is the Kingsway West.
Yeah, Kingsway West neighborhood. It's like Maffitt Union, that whole area, the whole north side really, or west side, really. And if you did have those grocery stores that was close, that you can get to, is different from your suburban counterparts. It's totally different. We got grocery stores, but some grocery stores don't even come to the hood, So I did have a local grocery store by my neighborhood. I went in there, I didn't like what I saw. So I'm like, okay, let me go to Central West End. On Linda, went there, same chain, went there. I was like, okay, it's a little better. So I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to always go to the Snooks in Clayton, right? She always go there. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that name or not, but yeah. But yeah, I went there. So I was like, why mom used to always go here all the time? And we stayed in Normandy School District. We stayed in Vale Village. I grew up in Vale Village in Power Line. So she's always go there. So let me go here. And I went there, like, that's why she went here all the time. You know, but she had a car to drive there too. So think about it. A lot of people don't have the transportation to go there. We did at the time. Or we'd get on the bus and do there too. We used to go on the bus and go shopping too. You know, we rode the bus a lot. So I was like, first of all, I noticed they had samples. You know, we don't even have samples in the hood grocery stores, which is crazy. That alone. They got all these beautiful things, abundance of everything. I'm just sitting here like, wow, like, I'm confused trying to figure out what I want. You know, you don't even have to, that's the problem there. You got so much good stuff, you try to see which one you want. So then I was like, okay. So I took it a step further. I went to West County. So I went out to that one, and I was like, whoa, I was really blown away. It had fruit I never heard of at the time. Like, I didn't know what jackfruit was, and starfish, and starfruit, and all this stuff. I didn't know none of that stuff. Dragon fruit, I didn't know. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I want to do something about that. So I started growing food in my backyard in buckets. And I noticed, you know, I got in buckets and the whole family getting involved in it. And I was like, okay, sure, I want to get the community involved. You know, so I see, you know, vacant lot across the street from my house. You know, and like I say, I'm big on manifestation. So I'm looking at like, man, I wonder how this would be if I had this across the street and people could come over here and eat this stuff. I didn't know how I was going to do it. You know, I just, that's what I wanted to do. And one thing I love about the universe and love about energy, if you put a certain amount of energy in something, you're going to get something back. You know, the world's a 360. Everything so without, as above, so below. So that's with negative or positive energy. So I put a lot of negative energy in something. Like I tell the kids, you can get some negative stuff back. So you put some positive energy in something, you get positive stuff back. So I started doing that stuff, started lining up. You know, I've been all these different opportunities lining up. So long story short on that, everything lined up. We started doing that. 2017, I started the
LRA piece.
Yeah, the LRA property. Yeah. $5 5 years, which they stopped, but it was $5 5 years. Alderman Bosley called me and told me about that. And I was like, oh, I didn't know about that program. So I did that. Then people just started talking. I saw the energy. People started talking and coming down like, what you doing? Saying stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm like, okay. That's how I get people to talk to me. Because at first it was just like, oh, look at you, look at me. Don't say nothing. Look at you, that like that tension. So people started letting their guards down and started talking to me. So I said, okay. So that made me feel good. Like people just talking. So I'm like, okay. So if this is the gateway to get people to talk and it gets the community stuff going on, I guess, because everybody got to eat. I think that's one thing that's bipartisan, food. That's with anything. So yeah, and that's and that vibe started. Then I'm at where I'm at today. So, yeah.
And I know you the fabric of the neighborhood kind of changed after the garden.
Yeah.
Because people started stopping by and getting the food. Even though the one time we were filming, we had like 2 people. Even the mail lady stopped by and got
I forgot about
peppers.
that. Yes, you did. Yeah.
So the community is now building relationship.
Yeah.
I wanted the neighborhood, but I want to go back a little bit to before food when you were a teacher and what it was like to teach kids who were coming a little hungry.
That's crazy. So when I was teaching, you could notice, right? When the kids come in, most of them be on hot. Back then it was a lot of hot fries. I don't know what they do there now. When I was teaching, everybody had a lot of hot fries. They got the hot fries in, and you could tell, you kind of tell their energy. So what I mean by that is food gives you energy. We know that, and junk give you some energy that you don't want, or no energy, right? So they'll come in, they either sleeping, they cranky, right? They overhype, but then they got that crash, right? They'll come in all hype, so that crash might be going to sleep, right, in class, or just, it's agitated. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can see it. You can just tell the difference, right? And they know they hungry, right? You come in, you can see it on them. But I love certain schools I was at. They'll have stuff, like secretary have something, and we start doing stuff where they give like the breakfast bars or something like that to the kids. And they'll come. Some kids come straight in, and it's nothing to put them on the spot so all the other kids can know. But they'll come in the office, they'll get a little something, banana, orange, or some type of breakfast bar, and that's something they need. And you can tell their attention changed, like they start doing their work. And just a little something like small like that. And I was like, man, like if something this small can make a difference, man, like imagine you just fill that gap or take care of that need, right? And there's other needs I know we got, but you take care of that need, that alone, again, even I feel a different way. Like, even my kids know that, like, oh, you must ain't ate yet. Like, my kids know that, like, oh, he being cranky today, he must ain't eat yet. Like, yeah, you're right, I didn't. So I just go get something and eat it. So, I think that alone, just getting their attention span together, and you want to worry about. It's too much stuff to worry about. You want to worry about them being hungry, right? And the behavior and energy is definitely noticeable. Yeah, at that level.
When we look at these neighborhoods and we see, like you said, convenience stores and gas stations, and that it reflects back to how the kids behave because of what they're getting, right? The nutrients, the energy. When our neighborhoods are stripped out of the nutritious food that we need.
And I don't know really getting the politic thing. I think it's up to like your alderman, like all the person, what business could come in, right? Or they get, or whatever that may look like. But I wouldn't accept these businesses. I think that's on a political point. Like if I have say so of what's coming over, or I could, or we could agree on something, I guess. Why would you let all these different tire shops? We don't need a tire shop on every corner. We don't need, we got a gas station here, and you got a gas station, 2 blocks down, another dude, like, why we got all these gas stations for? Why we got all these liquor stores? Like, that wouldn't be allowed out in the suburbs. Like, why we even, so that's number one. Why we even allowing the business to come in here, number one. And then, excuse me, and then it's like, you only go, and I don't really blame the neighborhood because, you only go where you can go. So if I'm only got these gas stations right here, only got this corner store, and all they got is junk food, and maybe some frozen stuff. That's where I'm going to spend my money at, right? It's the convenience of it. We got all these fast food places. We like healthy stuff too. Like, people in the hood like healthy stuff too. But we gonna get what we can get. You don't see a Whole Foods in the hood. You don't see anything with no healthy stuff attached to it at all. You don't see no vegan spots. None of that. You say, well, they don't want it. How you know they don't want it? You're not putting it over there. I think it should be some type of rule that if you're gonna have a corner store or something like that in the community, you should sell something that's healthy. I don't think that they should be allowed to have all this unhealthy stuff in there. It should be something on there saying, hey, you should be at least have 30% of your product. I don't know, whatever you want to start at. I don't know how that may look, but you should have some type of percentage of stuff that you can have over here, or the community gets to vote on what they want you to sell. I don't know. It needs some type of structure, I think, whatever that may look like. But yeah, and then it's about that's the whole story, man. This is about your confidence, man. Something little is just like subconsciously you see this, and you might not realize it, but subconsciously you're gonna treat yourself accordingly. For example, if I live in a neighborhood and there's a lot of trash there, I'm gonna subconsciously throw some trash down too. Not saying that's cool, but it's normal, right? But if you go somewhere, like you go to somebody's house and it's nice, or somebody's car that's clean, you're not gonna leave nothing in there because you can be like, man, they gonna know I did this. You're gonna feel some type of way about it. Like, this is not how they set up, so why would I do this? If that makes sense. So I think all that stuff is natural. I think it gives it's like the art of war. You can play a lot of games with people. It could be mental, it could be physical, it could be a lot of things that can have you have a memory or thought. So if I see this, or I know it's available, or I see something, I'm like, well, maybe they don't care about what's going on over here. So some people treat their stuff like that. Well, if I'm not highly thought of or considered, then I'm gonna act accordingly. And that's just, sometimes you do that subconsciously. So that's why so
it's like a trap.
Yeah, without you knowing it. And there's a lot of different ways that play a part in it, but on the food point of view, I think, I just think so. And the quality different. Like you said, like the quality is different in different places. You can see the quality on the shelves if you and in the hood is different from out there. It's like man, how they get this and I don't. Yeah. So
I want to explore the term food apartheid a little bit. You said it's deliberately done. So we're talking about systems.
Yep.
Where did you use the term apartheid, and how did you land on that term when we're describing the food system?
Man, so I got that from Dara Cooper. That's the first person that created that term. She's from I want to say she's in politics. She's in Georgia, out of Georgia. I saw a quote and she said that, and I don't know her definition verbatim, but when I saw that, I was like, man, that makes sense. Because then I think about South Africa. When I first heard the term, when I was in school, right, about the apartheid, Nelson Mandela, and all that stuff, and I was like, so it might not be and that same. It's the same energy, but not the same. But I think Well, I'm gonna get back to what I'm trying to say. It's literally done because, man, like that's all you see, and to me, it's no other way. Like, why wouldn't you want to have these different places for us to get to? Like, why wouldn't you? You know, it got to be designed for it. If you don't want it, you see the people want it, but you're not doing it. So
there's some sort of disconnect.
Yeah, definitely is. And part of my thing is, okay, we can't help the older people, the politicians, and all that stuff. Well, can we start with the youth? So I like starting with the youth because you can't teach your old dogs new tricks. So I start with the youth. That's why I do programs with the youth, bring in the early learning centers, bring in the middle school, primary, secondary, and get them involved. Because when you get the kids go home and teach their parents, right? And then some people don't want to do new things, right? So you teach the kids. That's why I like bringing in the chefs and all the different people to teach them how to cook it. And then when your kids doing something, the parents be like, oh, what you got going on? Then maybe you bring that together. One thing about food, it brings people together. A smell of food could make you bring up a memory of something when you was a kid. I could smell something and be like, oh man, that's like my great grandma. I want cornbread or something. I don't know, something like that people don't even make no more. I don't think. So a little stuff like that, helping my grandma pick greens. The greens bring back a memory. Like, man, that was my job picking greens. Then all that's connected. Even with energy, soul food, soul farming, all that is with energy. When I'm in a bad mood, I can't even cook for nobody because I don't want you to have. I got to get myself together, right? Because you taking my energy, right? When if I'm farming and I got seeds in my hand, I don't take those seeds lightly. I'm paying homage to those seeds, to the indigenous people that had those seeds, right? Give it that good energy because you got to eat my food that I'm growing, right? So so I think all that play a part. I'm really big on energy. You exchange energy by shaking hands. Hugging somebody, you can feel it right there. You can feel this fake was real. We all got the energy. We all got the ability to do it. So back to that. I'm saying I know I'm probably going over the place, but I just think we put the good energy in what we doing, and also with the kids. So that's why I'm going back to the kids. So I think the focus should be more on the kids and adults because they the future and they can teach too. And they're not stuck in they ways. I guess you could say that.
This falls right there, just as you came to a natural stopping point. I don't know if the plane's gonna come over here, but just in case.
Yeah.
The plane's gonna be kind of chill though. Whenever you're ready. Yep, okay. Whenever you're ready.
Sorry, totally forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, we're talking about kids, system. Okay. With actually no, I want to talk about your name too when we're talking about the spiritual side.
Okay.
Hi, this is Sara Bannoura with Food for All podcast. This is Tyrean Lewis. Tell us about your name, Tyrean.
So my spiritual name I got at an African ceremony here. I want to say 2018 maybe, and it's Heru Dejeti Adeleke. So Heru Dejeti Adeleke means the crown triumphs to the strength of a king, and Heru by itself being king liberator. So when I say Heru, I've been forming, I want to liberate the people through food. That's why I came up with that.
And you're on a mission to liberate them from the deliberately made system that's put them in a position where they don't have access to the food they need.
That and with everything. So I want to deliver them from that. Give them some energy, right? Give them energy, teaching, everything. It's liberating to grow your own food, eat your own food, get you some good energy from what you from your food and all that. And just to back it up, I think we need to take over our own system, really. So I believe in food hubs, community-ran grocery stores. I think that's the way to go. Why we have somebody else dictate what we're doing? If we get a lot of local growers and keep everything local. So we got enough growers in the state, or get enough growers together, and we could distribute and set up our own logistics and have our own thing going on, right? We got North Surf Food Hub. They do great things. We got the Red Circle that's going to try to do the community-ran grocery store. We got City Greens and Local Harvest, right? I think just feed those more. That's my thought, and give people opportunities to get more space. A lot of stuff we have problem with farmers or someone to get in the industry is the capital. But even with farming, it's other avenues. They ain't got to be growing food, you know. Like I said, we need people in logistics and AI, stuff like that too, because we're coming to a different world. But I don't want to jump ahead, can I talk about the grant stuff too? Opportunities for that?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Let's go.
Right.
I mean, Tyrean, you are one of 40 people across the country who won this, so yes, please tell me about it.
Yeah, so I was blessed last year to get the Land Capital Market Access Grant. Between 40 and 50 people in America got it. I'm one of those people, which I'm blessed for the opportunity. My nonprofit is a $2.5 million grant. It's for me to get my own, because the space I'm at now is at Confluence Farms. They got 240 acres, which I'm blessed to be a part of. But I'll get my own setup like that. So this money's allowed me to get my own land, get my own wash pack station, all my logistics stuff, my refrigerated vans, all the equipment, everything. And the USDA, this is a pilot. They never give out money for you to buy land or buy equipment. Loans, yeah, but not just give it to you grant-wise, right? So that's first. And I know there's a big responsibility too. So I know I'm gonna get looked at about it, so I'll make sure I set up a good blueprint so they can continue to do it and people behind me can have the same opportunity. And also with this program, like I said, we're adopting 5 schools for 5 years. So that allowed me to, for those 5 schools, then we come out to the farm a few times a year. I go to the school, I'm bringing, just like I do the farm school, bringing chefs to come in, different minority chefs to teach them how to cook this food and prepare it and things of that nature. Because one of the misconceptions is healthy food is bland or have a taste to it, a flavor to it. So I want somebody to actually show them hands-on how to do this. Have herbalists come in, we can make different medicinal tinctures, There's no such thing as weeds. All this weeds is medicine. We treat it as weeds. Dandelion, you eat the whole thing from the top to bottom, the root. Echinacea, you take that flower, you can make a tincture out of that. Antiviral, anti-inflammatory. You can take calendula, make calendula oil. You can take comfrey, make comfrey oil. So you got all these different things. So I teach them that. Purple violets in the springtime. Eat that out of the grass. Dead nettle, eat that too, right? I bring in the nutritionists, because they could break that down better than me. So I had them go in and teach about that. So that's an opportunity for them too. They get them set up. I also gonna invite 10 urban growers that need more space. You need more space, you come out and you get in our training program. We're not only gonna teach you how to set up your nonprofit or your LLC, but we teach you the spiritual practices that we use, right? When we're growing food, we set you up in distribution, mentoring, whatever that may look like, right? Set your business up like a business. One thing about farmers, we farm, but we don't have that business structure like most other businesses do, right? So we're gonna teach that too. Also, whatever they grow on their plot, they can start with 1/8 of an acre. Whatever they grow on that plot is theirs. I want nothing from it. Whatever you grow is you. When you're done with your program, you get an acre that you can have. It's your acre, right?
Is this what you're planning to do with the
Then
land you're
Yeah,
getting?
so what we're doing with land. So I got land for hay ribbon farming and garden to grow on, but I got 10 growers that gonna get their own plot on this land. They're gonna own. Everything is theirs. So they could. So after their program is over with, they get an acre of their own. They have, right. They have a ceiling of 5 acres. So they have tap out. So every year we feel like they can handle it, because sometimes you want to get into farming, you might look good, but you got to know how you can handle it. So we gonna baby step them, but we still give them what they need. Not really baby step them, but make them know that they could handle the acreage, right? So make sure you get an acre. Now you feel good, we see you doing good, you can add on another acre if you want to, right? You can get up to the ceiling's 5 acres. So I'm looking at like a 100-acre property, right? So I do my thing on there, but then I got 10 other growers that have the opportunity to do their thing right there. Now the question is, can I continue to roll this over? Probably not, right? Because I'm around, unless I get more land. But I want these 10 individuals to have at least up to 5 acres that they can own or they own, grow their own food, make their own money off of it, right? I'll still continue the program with training, but the ownership is going to be whoever the first 10 is, because this is how it's set up. But I think that'd be a great opportunity for somebody to expand and want to get into the food industry a little bit more, a little better as well. And also we're gonna give away 10% of everything we grow every month as well to underserved communities too. Yeah. Have
you found an area where?
We looking, waiting on USDA, so we waiting on to come in. But young people can learn from the older people, and that'll make them more advanced for the younger for their group. But then older people need younger people too, so they can make us more advanced with our group of people. Mm-hmm. So we all connected. We all got to learn together. And so I like keeping young people around me. Yeah, they keep me cool.
Keep you young.
Yeah. Keep me in the mix. Yeah, so that's cool.
Take me to your neighborhood and talking about these relationships when you do have a garden and a place where people can come and gather and pick food.
So, man, I got a lot of good relationships through that garden. Man, Miss Pinky, next door neighbor. I got Mr. Jenkins, rest his soul. He had passed a couple years ago, but he was my first naysayer and supporter on Method. When I went down there, when I first gave him a fight, he looked at me up and down like, you ain't no foreman to me. Yeah, I'm like, you're right, I don't. He was like, we gonna see how you gonna look in July when it's hot over there. I'm like, all right. So when I come, like, what's wrong with this old man? You know what I'm saying? So I goes over there. He the first one pulls up. Got his shovel out there. He just like shooting this, shooting shit. So anyway, so I'm like, oh, well, okay, here we go. He helping me. So he was cool though. He was like a father figure to me too. You know, I lost my pops in 2015, but he reminded me of my pops though. And he was cool. And he was the OG on the block. He already had food in his backyard. He was the only one that actually was growing food in his backyard. And man, he got some nice tomatoes too, man. Okra, all that stuff, cucumber in his backyard. I'm like, okay, you think you know what you're doing. You know, we had good conversation, me outside of farming. Like, I go down to his porch, pop a bird with him. You know, we just sitting there talking. I like talking to old heads. You know, I get wisdom from them. So we on the porch talking. I guess probably my youngsters like talking to me. So, you know, so I just like just talking to him just about life. And he was cool. So I miss him a lot. But Mr. D, he another neighbor down the street. Oh, he cool. You know, he got probably the best barbecue in St. Louis. You go down to his house, so that's cool. Then you got I can't think of the lady that stayed behind on the farm. Then I met some youngsters on the side of the alley. Like, man, it's everybody. You know, there's a connection. Like people cool. You know, got other people motivated to grow stuff in their backyard, even if it's flowers or food or whatever. So that was I like that. And people just just come around and just to get some counsel, hey, what's going on? Just start talking. Man, what's crazy was not even the community talking, the ecosystem talking, right? Man, that's turtles down there on Maffitt. Where them turtles come from in the hood? I don't know. I had a neighbor come down there. She grabbed a turtle. Like, can I have one of the turtles? And my mom like, no. Like, but it ain't my turtle. So, but she took it. And I was like, man, but it was more turtles. Like, I thought she took the only turtle. Like, it's turtles down there, which is crazy. Man, you got garden snakes everywhere. You got crickets and grasshoppers, praying mantises about this big.
So you just started paying attention to your neighborhood.
For sure. Man, lightning bugs at nighttime. We got beehives. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, man, I seen hawks come down and get something and take it back in the sky. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. So, just like that. Man.
And those relationships stay.
Yeah. So, that's crazy. Yes, that took me away about the turtle, though. Like, where does turtle come from? Like, there's no water over here. Like, where did it come from? I guess you build it, they'll come, I guess. So that's what happened. So I have, since I'm expanding and getting more, I couldn't really spend time on that community garden like I should, so I passed it off to somebody else. It's still in the organization. She's on the board, Samantha Minor. And she got that actually this Friday, 10 o'clock. Just throwing it out there. We have it. We be putting the garden back together. So I got a lot of stuff getting delivered there. So we gonna tighten her up so we can set up for success. Cause last year I didn't really have nothing growing down there because I was just pulled in different directions, and the neighbors let me know about it too. I'm gonna keep it 100. So, but when we fixed it up and this year we had cutting it everything, everybody texted like, yes, we got it back. Cause I moved from down there, right? Yeah. And I did other stuff. So, but I can't. I'm not gonna let that be. Cause they're not gonna like it, so I gotta make sure I keep it together. So we gonna get it back together this year and get it flowing again. So yeah, but it was cool though to let them to hear their feedback and like they really like trip off that garden. So yeah, they really notice it and they protect it too. So yeah, that's for sure.
So they're feeling some sort of ownership too.
Yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm. With teaching kids and they are going to be tomorrow's adults, right? And tomorrow's leaders. And thinking about other people in the space who are maybe inspired and also are struggling to find healthy food but want to do the same, want to grow their own. What would you say to them? how can they learn from your experience from starting growing food in a bucket to now having access to 100 acres?
Man, first and foremost, I never knew I was gonna be doing this, so it's just like there's not even a thought to me. I just wanted to, when I first started, I just wanted to grow some food and give it away to people, in the neighborhood. Then 2020 changed that with COVID, and then and everything, and people start getting more health conscious. But one thing I can tell you, it's gonna be a lot of mistakes. When I first got me the garden across the street, well, before I left across the street, the community garden, I went to Bell Fountain first. I had a plot out there. Man, I grew like 20 okra plants, about 100 tomato plants, and I'm by myself. I did all this. I'm like, whoa, but I gotta harvest all this stuff, and I gotta work it. So I had weeds everywhere. I didn't know, so I put too much on my plate at first. So I would say start small, see what you can handle, and don't just jump into something big. Because I got stuck with a lot of stuff. I didn't know what to do with it. And so it's harder than you think. When you start off and they not producing, you be like, okay, I can do this. Then when they get started, it's time for harvest or getting big, it's like, hold up, I gotta have some plans here. So I say take baby steps, do what you can handle first, see if you like it first, right? And if you really want to get in the farm and treat it as a Fortune 500 company without being that, right? You gotta look at it from a different way. If you want to be in a business, don't look at it as that. Look at it as a straight business instead of straight farming. And then I think you'd be more productive if you look at it like that as well. But yeah, and ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. Help is good.
Let's talk about that community collaboration. What's the St. Louis community like when it comes to fighting for equitable food access?
I think St. Louis is ahead of despite other cities that I've been to and other stuff. I mean, Detroit do good, different cities like that, but that's like for the Midwest. But I think St. Louis is doing okay on that level. I think everybody collaborate. I think we got different extensions and stuff like Food City and stuff like that. I think we get a lot of recognition here, believe it or not. No matter what it may seem like, I think we're going in the right direction. Yeah, I really do. Could we be doing better? Yeah, but if we ahead in some cities or most cities, I think we are in certain things. And collaboration is another thing I want to touch on. Like St. Louis is good on that. I wish people that's from here could see that. We get a lot of that. I think we talked about that earlier. We got a lot of they call them transplants that's not originally from here. They come here. Man, they get right in and flowing, right? They see stuff that people here don't see. And I think St. Louis got a bad stigma. And then, like, when you hear, you kind of something like that, right? And then have that type of energy. And then, and then take it from there, I guess.
So storytelling.
Yeah.
So making people, having them experience the food while explaining to them why it matters.
And then include them. Give me a story or something, like, oh yeah, ooh, I can relate to that. Yeah, it depends on what you push and how you do it. You know what I mean? Like, you push all the other stuff, you gonna go with that. So, I hope I answered that question. So,
what you want to
get involved. I don't know. It's a way to bring them in because some people just don't have the time. I don't know. Some people just don't. They got the time, but they don't got the time. They gonna be interested in what they're interested in. So unfortunately, that's why I said bring in the entertainment and the liquor and stuff like that. I'm just saying, and bring them in and got your attention. All right, let's go and do something else. I don't know. Yeah.
The data you've mentioned at the top of the conversation. I know you're having to do this all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You are, I've seen you speak at the Botanical Garden, right? Like, that's just what you do. You're being asked to tell this story over and over again. And the data, the statistics really is just to prove whatever you're fighting for, right? The fact that we don't have enough food growing locally. And the reality, obviously, as the data shows us, is what it is. But for us to move forward, we need things to change a little bit. How has it been when it comes to advocating for better access? I know you've had to go to DC to advocate.
Yeah.
What's that been like? Were you ever even interested in politics?
Man, heck no. But you know, I feel like, you know, next man up, right? You in this space, I feel like I'm obligated to do this, right? Which is cool.
Is it?
I mean, you know, it's cool because I know that somebody got to do it, right? And I'm in this space, so why not? You know.
Okay.
That's how I look
So
at
you're
it.
not hating it.
Nah,
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
I'm not hating. I mean, it's what I gotta do. I mean, you know, that's life. You gotta roll the punches. So that's what I gotta do. Is what I gotta do. So with that being said, yeah, I'm part of the National Young Farmers Coalition, which is my term is up. And considered to be a young farmer, you either gotta have less than 10 year experience or you know stuff like that. For be a beginner, less than 10 years experience and stuff like that. So and I guess I am young compared to you know the other farmers that have been in the game. So. But yeah, we went to DC for the fly-in. We advocate for the Farm Bill, talk to different politicians and stuff like that. And when I'm advocating for the Farm Bill, I'm basically getting the urban farmer's voice heard. For example, the USDA might give funding to a rural farmer for fencing for cattle, right? But what about electrical fencing or privacy fencing for your urban setting, right? They might give you water for a well, give you money for a well to tap into the water supply. What about municipality water, right? Stuff like that. So just get on an even playing field with funding and stuff like that. We need capital to start a business. You know, just like you give anybody else some loans or something for a cattle, why can't we do it for farming? And that's why this grant I got it was a pilot thing, and so hopefully they can continue doing this, right? I'm on the Missouri board of directors for Missouri Farmers Union. So we went to Jeff City, you know, for local stuff, right, as well.
So how did you're teaching kids, you're trying to get your land, and you're going to Jeff City and DC to advocate. Yeah. How are you managing all of that?
I don't know, keep my mind cool. So real, you know, self-care is important though. That's what any business you in, anything you're doing, self-care. So I do a lot of self-care, a lot of meditating, and sometimes I gotta chill too, take my little breaks, stuff like that. It get overwhelming sometimes, but I mean, that's just being a human. I think I'm alright, you know. Just gotta make sure you take care of yourself, self-care, whatever that look like.
What do you need? You and everybody you represent, the people who are having to teach themselves, right? You're teaching it. You taught yourself how to grow. You just started doing it, and then you found your people.
Well, I did, but you know, I took permaculture classes. You know, I took herbalism classes. You know, I'm a fifth generational farmer, so I got family members that you know been in the game. I didn't grow up on a farm, but you know they got experience, so I called them. You know, trial and error is definitely a part of it, but you know, I did do my due diligence on certain stuff, right, to get to hone my skills, of course. But I think we need more trainings and things of that nature, like we're doing different type of curriculum and all that. Space for farmers if you want to get in this.
Let's talk about that. The things that the next Tyrean needs. You need capital,
and space, training, and bodies. Those are three top things. Bodies,
manpower.
Manpower. The one to probably be capital for most people. Land, access, and bodies. Yeah, to be more efficient and you know what you got to do.
And does every farmer have to go to Jeff City to advocate? Is
Yeah, we got more. We just need back from our local politicians, people writing your local representatives and senators and all that stuff for certain things. That all that play a part. You know, you need the people to do that. You need the people on the ground. You need people behind the scenes writing, people highlighting it. You know, all that plays a part when you're trying to push something. Yeah, but those probably be the top three things I think that farmers in general in this area need. Yeah.
And training
and hopefully I can help out with that with the training and you know and get some people some land. I can't give everybody no space, but at least I can help out with some. Yeah.
When we get all of that, when we get land, we get training, we get access, policies are on our side. With Food City, we are reimagining what St. Louis could look like if everybody had access, right? Food for all. What would that look like?
Man, if it was a perfect situation, food for all, I could walk out my house no matter where I'm at. I could be on Maffin Union. I could be on Natural Bridge and Vanda. Man, I could be in Kasu, whatever that may look like. I could come outside. Man, I got fruit trees. This is my perfect world. I got fruit trees instead of regular trees. I can come out my yard and just boop, give me some apples, give me some peaches, right? I got some community gardens in certain places, but I got some local food. I got access. I got to go to the store I can walk to, get on the bike and go down and go to the store, right? I got the mom and pop stores. I got the corner stores. I can get whatever I need to get out of there, but I also get some fresh stuff over here too. We ain't even got to talk about this. Like, it shouldn't even be a food city. It shouldn't even be a food apartheid. That term shouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's automatic. Like, and I think that'd be perfect, man. I'd have been to different places, Hawaii or California. When I see pomegranates in their backyard, we might not see that type of feeling.